Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters, is yours truly. I am Amar Mari. I changed the title of the group and titled it El Kebulon Unity Alliance instead. And the reason why I did that because of cultural purposes. Because as I began to deal with some of our brothers and sisters that are organically from the motherland, they helped me to better understand that they don't use the word tribe. Now, I'm just talking about the individuals who I spoke to that told me this, okay, that they don't use that word tribe. And so, getting into the topic of discussion, I want to talk about culture matters. And why does culture matter? Culture, it helps you to identify who you are. Okay, if culture didn't matter, then why did the slave master cut our ancestors off from their culture? If it didn't matter, then why did they forbid them to speak in their own language? And why did they force them into not using their cultural names? Now, I'm not just talking about something that I seen on Roots. I know people that are organically from El Kebulon, okay, and told me that they were forced to change their name. So if it didn't matter, then why is it that we don't want to name our child or our children a cultural name? It's because we've been brainwashed. And that's just the bottom line. We've been told that if you use that type of name, then they, who is they, won't hire you. Who is they? Who is the they? The realization is that they are racist Europeans that present themselves to be moral. But yet, I have to challenge them on their morality. Because if you're so moral then, and your ancestors who were racist as well, so moral, then why did they rape our women? Why did they make our ancestors work for free? Why did we get lynched? Why did we get shot? All because of our ethnicity. Why did a 14-year-old boy like Emmett Till get murdered? The lies of a racist European woman. She confessed what she did. As an elder, and was never incarcerated for confessing to a crime. She lied. But yet they were quick to incarcerate Bill Cosby for what he did. This is not a land of liberty, because if we were free to speak our minds, and if we're so free, then why did they kill Fred Hampton? Why did they kill, peace and blessings be upon him, the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King, El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz, better known as Malcolm X? See, we have to recognize the racists for who they are. They're brainwashed. These people are mentally ill. They have a problem. When you steal a country, then you talk about it's our country, then something is mentally wrong with you, because you're not indigenous to this continent. All these races come from over in a foreign land, not from this land. They're mentally unstable, but yet they try to present themselves as so mentally grounded. Last time I checked, when you stole something, even though it's in your possession, it still doesn't belong to you. So you're talking about this is our land. No, it's not your land. It's the indigenous people's land that you murdered and stole it from. It's not your land. You are not indigenous to this continent. These people are mentally ill. When you think it's okay to murder someone because of someone's ethnicity, when you tell someone that they need to look like you, talk like you, dress like you, but yet you're so moral, right? You're so moral, but you do those things to people. You so moral, but you want to kill somebody who speak out against your immorality and the way that you're treating people. They need some psychological help. That's what they need. Because it makes no sense at all for us to have to go through what we go through by them. Brothers and sisters, it's important for you to get back in touch with your culture, because then you find out also your spiritual system that you should be following after. Now, some of our brothers and sisters over in Kebelon, unfortunately, due to colonization, they don't even subscribe to their spiritual systems. They subscribe to Christianity. And it is a fact. It is a fact. I'm going to say it again. It is a fact that we did not follow after Christianity prior to colonization. That is a fact. It is a fact that colonization happened, because how do you have somebody that's born in a Kebelon with the name of John or Julius or Thomas? Julius Nyerere, he fought against colonization. Thomas Sankara fought against colonization. Now, how did they get birthed in the motherland and have those names? Those names are not El Kebelon originated names. So we have to wake up, and we can no longer allow ourselves to be deceived by these lies. In fact, you have to look at the reverse psychology as well. They don't want us to put our faces on any type of marketing material, on social media, on TV, on our pages. I know a person literally told me that. They said, "Oh, no, put your face on there. Put a Caucasian person face on there." It blows my mind that we fall for this, because Dark and Lovely is not a melanated owned, El Kebelon owned business, but yet they have our faces on there. How long are we going to fall for the tricks? They'll tell us we're not good enough for us, but yet you use us to win us to buy your products. No, enough is enough. Enough of the lies. You have to stop being ashamed of who you are. You come from a lineage of kings and queens. And some people say, well, in antiquity, not just antiquity, now, in modern day time, the Asante, they still have kings and queens. The Zulus still have kings and queens. To this date. In Ethiopia, kings and queens, right? So this is not a past tense position in society, this modern day. What do you have to be ashamed of when we were the ones who helped to create medicine? Not just over in Kemet, okay? We were great architects. Yes, over in Kemet is known, the pyramid's still standing today. Yes. But also think about your ancestors like Booker T. Washington, you know, and think about your ancestors like Benjamin Banneker, who actually was the one who did the blueprint, if you will, for the White House. George Washington Carver. Shirley Chisholm, who was the first woman actually to run for presidency, from my knowledge. And not only that, she looked like us. It wasn't Hillary Clinton. Some people think it was her. It wasn't her. There's a lot of things we did. The dry cleaning. and things of that nature. You know, so we have things we should be proud of, man. And I'm sick and tired of our people running away from who they are. They'll tell you, oh, don't wear your hair afro in your, afro style in your hair because you won't get hired. I'm tired of that. Oh no, you gotta take your little dreads out because they won't hire you. See, that's the reason why we need to get in control of the economy and have our own economics. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that soon as segregation was abolished, we ran from our stores to go buy at their stores to keep their stores open just so ours can be shut down? We've been brainwashed to praise the very ones who killed our ancestors and who's killing the modern day ancestors. Who am I talking about? Sandra Bland, Philandro Castile, Alton Sterling. And the list goes on. And that's why I say modern day ancestors. Not just in antiquity, I'm talking about now. And you praise them. You look up to them like you want to be like them. Why? For what? For what? Tell me why. Just like the Honorable Minister Malcolm X had asked the question, who made you ashamed of being who you are? Who made you ashamed of being who the Creator created you to be? Paraphrasing him. Your nose, your lips, your hair, the pigmentation of your skin. I'm not ashamed. I never have been. And I was called a nigger when I was a little kid. I didn't even know what the word mean. The first person who I heard call me a nigger, believe it or not, was a racist Caucasian. And that's the truth. The heaven bear me witness. I never heard that word until a racist Caucasian man called me that. Actually, a racist Caucasian woman. Because I looked at my dad. I said, Dad, what is that? I didn't even know what a nigger was. Or he is. Now, I'm not saying to hate people. What I am saying is this right here. I am going to deal with those who are racist and those who attack my people. I am going to defend us. Because when you come at us and you act like you're better than us, then that has to be handled. Because I'm going to help you to understand that you are wicked. And I said it. If you're a racist, you're wicked. Nothing good about you. You say that it's all right for babies to be thrown to crocodiles, and you say it's okay for a man to be hung and to be beaten in front of his own queen and children. You say you more, but you strip a man of his own ethnic culture and make him work for free. And you think that's so crazy. No, you mentally ill. And you sick in the head. And you need help. That's just the bottom line. So, brothers and sisters, it's important for you to get in touch with your culture. It's important for you to have that pride to understand that you don't have to feel inferior to anybody. You're blessed. You're kissed by the sun. And we have a lot to be proud of. Look at what our ancestors did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, and in Durham. And also it was in New York and Chicago. It was in numerous places, but we just hear about those places. We're very intelligent. We're the ones that created science. Get in touch with who you are. Find out who you are. Raise your children in their culture once you find out. If you get ready to have a child or children, don't name them, after, our ancestors' slave owner. Don't give them that slave owner name. Jones, Williams, and Johnson, and Like my last name was Walden before I changed it. No. No. And if I knew better when my son was born, I would have never passed on my ancestors' slave master's last name on to my child. I would have never did that because it's ownership. And a lot of us still walking around here with our ancestors' last names branded and ownership, and we have family reunions with the shirts on, and we walk around, we say, oh, I'm a Johnson, oh, I'm a Jones, oh, I'm a this. You know, why don't you have a problem with the European name, but you have a problem with a cultural name? See, that's a problem. I want you to think about this. You think ancestor worship is so wrong, but yet on Memorial Day, you honor Caucasian people who did not die for you, who don't care nothing about you. But you don't want to honor people like the Honorable Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, and numerous others that are fallen heroes whose names wasn't mentioned that laid their lives down for us to be free. But you have no problem with Memorial Day celebrating people who never died for you. You need to understand the history of that. You need to understand the year that, Independence Day was constructed in July 4th, 1776, right? 4th of July? Yeah. Our ancestors were still being forced to work for free. I hope you understand that. I hope you also understand that flag was not constructed during a time where our ancestors was free. They still was fighting against discrimination. I hope you understand that. Why you celebrate Thanksgiving when they slayed the indigenous people of this continent? Why don't you celebrate Kwanzaa? Because see, some of you been brainwashed to believe that that's satanic. Huh? But you haven't even researched Kwanzaa. You haven't even studied the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. You despise your own self. Why is that? You need to ask yourself that question. Why is it that everything about us, even the color black, is demonized? Why is it that everything about us, our culture, is demonized? Why is that? The bell is ringing with information today. Wake up. Peace, love, and power.